Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a tricky rack, very clunky. Lots of non-bingo-y tiles and pretty unbalanced with just the one vowel. I think it's too good to change. And I can get rid of the V by playing Vex. I'd prefer to play off one more consonant, but I can't see a play which does that, which is better than Vex. So I'm playing this. Great. I draw a couple of vowels. Doesn't really matter that they're both the same vowel, since having two vowels of any description is better than one. I have jaw on my rack and jahala. Vex only takes a T after it. And V is a really blocky tile, so my play of Vex has immediately focused attention on the right-hand side of the board. This could result in a tight game, or early bingos could open the board wide up. My preferred play of jaw is not playable at the moment. However, I could play whore above Vex. I don't have to burn the J straight away. I've got J, H and W. I'd like to play off two of those. I can't see a way of playing off all three. Wow, that's blocky, because XI only takes an S after it, nothing in front. Ed takes an S after it, so I could play jaws, but that places a J over a double word square. Probably not best. Nowhere for jahala. Just wondering if I've got anything which hooks DI that's worth playing. And I don't think I do, because only my S goes there. What about a play through XI? Nothing doing. I've got jawed in column 8, but that's inviting an easy J play by my opponent. However, the rack lead is good. But can I do something better? My H can go underneath ED. So is there a way of playing off either W or J? Well, there is, because WAR is good. 19 points keeping J, L, S. I'm not going to do that. Jawed is a much better rack leave, and it's only 3 fewer points. I'm going with this. Pretty good. I could have a bingo here. I think Blarist is good. And Dib is good, so hopefully the J will distract my opponent. And I have Blarist in column 10. I also currently have it higher up in column 10 because of Vexed. What if those are blocked? Well, it would be pretty unlucky if they were blocked such that a new opening wasn't created. However, should that be the case, I have Jelab in row E. Just wondering if I have something through the A. I don't think Hateable takes an S. I can't see any anagrams of Blarist. It's possible there is one, but it's not coming to mind. Blarist at the top of column 10 would get the B doubled, tripled rather, so that would be a good score. But I'd be surprised if that remains available. And I don't think it does. No. So I have Blarist at the bottom of column 10. Do I have something through the C? I don't think Blatches is good. But if it is, would I play it? Great, it's not, so I think that makes my job easier. I've just got Blarist down here for 72. Not great. However, I do have a lead, and I do have scoring tiles, and there is a degree of balance in terms of vowels and consonants, although the vowels are pretty grim. Now, Fumi is good, which would burn all of my high-scoring tiles. And none of them are particularly bingo-y, so I'm happy to see the back of all of them. Footy keeping UM would also be fine. Dib only takes an S after it. Dibs is good with 2 Bs, but not without the S. I'm not paying a huge amount of attention to row O, as I suspect my opponent may play there. Now, what about column 10? And I'm just wondering if there may have been a play worth considering a non-bingo. HA something, scoring off the Z and the J, but I don't think that would have been better than Blarist. So I can see OM, but that's not good enough. R does take an F, so I could just play FY. Worth considering. Haven't seen anywhere great for anything yet. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent. And there are 2 triple lanes available. And I've got a hopelessly non-bingo-y rack. But that's just the way things go. So, what do I have? I have Fusty in column 15. I have Footy in row O. Do I have anything better? And it would be nice to get a high-scoring tile on this double letter square. Can't see a way of doing that. So Footy for 33, quite an okay rack leave. Mutt goes quite well with H. So I was thinking about having Mushy, but the H isn't on my rack. Musty is the best I can do. Or Fusty. 36 points keeping Moo. I think I prefer the leave after Footy of Mutt. The O is better than the U, but I don't like the double O. And with 5 to come, that could easily become a 3 or more. But is there something better? This is only 33 points. No, I'm not going to spend any more time. I'm going with this. Wow, that's a good pickup. I have Mouthier in row L. And column 15 has got to attract my opponent. I have Misroot as a triple. Wow. Okay, well, hopefully my opponent will block Mouthier. But either way, I am definitely bingoing. And I did pick up an O, so although it doesn't really prove anything, I'm glad I jettisoned my 2 O's last turn. Just 30 points between us with my opponent on turn. Opponent blocks Misroot, which is a shame. I have Mouthier. I'm inclined to play it fairly quickly because I think I have spent some time on other moves. And I think anything better will be marginally better. So Mouthier for 78. Wow, horrible. QV, always a pain to see. However, not a disastrous rack if I could play Vamp somewhere. Wow, opponent comes back with a bingo. So I actually trail. I was on the brink of playing a triple-triple from a leading position, and I now trail. Lowering takes a C and an F in front. There's one C and one F to come. There is a Q. Do I have a play through that? I have Korma through the O. So do I... Well, is there somewhere good for Vamp? Well, annoyingly there is. 34 points. Keeping back the Q. Eliminating this spot for it, the U of Lowering. Only one U to come, but 2 blanks. If I played Quat, 26, 8 fewer points, but I'd be left with V, M and P on my rack. If I draw a U, I've got Quart in row F. This is quite a big call. There are 4 A's to come, and if I draw one of them, I've got Cat in row B. And also in row K. Vamp gives nothing away, and it blocks the C and F hook for Lowering. I'm going with Vamp. And I draw an A, fantastic. So I have Cat in row B and K. Onto a Y, I would have QWERTY. The Y not available. I have Quart in row F. I don't have the U. Onto an F, I would have Wax. The F not available. I have Trank on my rack. Can't see anywhere for that. Well, yes, through the R of mouth here. So this has worked out. The big fear when you've got an opportunity to play the Q and you don't is that it then lingers on your rack. But I think that fear is probably overstated in the age of QI and QAT. And certainly in this instance I am able to get rid of the Q on this turn. And should be able to score quite well with it as well. Opponent turning over a lot of junky tiles. Probably the right thing to do, both in terms of getting rid of junk and in terms of drawing one of these blanks. Cat is quite nice because we're dead level, but this I have the tempo. And Cat, I think, takes out the best bingo lane in row B. Tar does take an E in front, so opponent could come back with a high scoring play in row A. So is there any alternative to Cat? An alternative for Cat. What about Cat in row K? At 31 points, it provides no opportunity for my opponent. How dangerous is row B? Well, any play in row B is likely to create access to 2 triple word squares, so that's not hugely favourable to me. I think I'm going to play here because if opponent doesn't play in row A, I've at least got new in that spot. I'm going with this, or am I 11 minutes on my clock? Have I exhausted all the possible Q spots on the board? So there was Trank in column 13, that's not better. The Korma spot got taken. I'm going with this. No blank. And no bingo either. And my lead pretty slender, just 30 odd points. I do have new in row A. And I also have newy in that spot, which I think is good. Onto a D, I would have ironweed. Not too many floaters available. Opponent's pretty strong. Can't expect him to slacken up at all. Great, just 17 points. I'm looking to play off W, O and E. My W can go in front of the E of acetone, so I could play wide in that spot. That's quite nice, pretty balanced rack lead. Only two O's and 3 E's to come. I'm not blocking any bingo lanes, which is slightly worrying. Opponent only turning over 2 tiles. Could easily be holding on to 5 good ones. And there are bingo lanes on this board. Through the R of mouth here. Column 14, they're not great ones. Row K, going over MI and ON. These aren't great bingo lanes, but I think the likelihood of there being 2 bingos in the rest of this game is slim. So it could be crucial. However, wide is 33 points, which is pretty good. Will give me a 50-point lead, so I may be able to survive a bingo, even if I can't reply in kind. Can I do better? I was going to say DWEEB, but I don't have the D. The other quite hot spot is this double word square. And I'm just thinking about making a play which takes out the R as a bingo floater. Can't see such a play. 9 minutes on my clock, 24 tiles to come, so no time trouble. I'm going with wide. Fantastic, I draw one of the blanks. Rest of the rack fairly bingo-y. Can't immediately see something through the R. Re-enroll blocked by the G. AR, quite a useful pair. What about row K? Not hugely useful, only an A goes in front of MI. And I can't see a bingo with the blank as an A. None of these 2-letter sets massively useful. Just wondering what the best thing to do here is. Of the tiles on my rack, only an O goes after the G. So I've got the over prefix with ELN. No bingo through the R. I guess row K is a bingo lane through this A with multiple overlaps. I don't think I have such a play. What hooks the H? Well, I could put another E there. That's not great. I think AR is probably the most useful bingo lane for me, row F. Wow, opponent opens the board for just 13 points, creates a new bingo lane. Do I have one? Let me look for 7s. And wow, I think my opponent may have blocked Oleander. No, he didn't. That doesn't have AR together. This looks like there could be a bingo here, 7. Not seeing it. Air long. Doesn't play, that's a shame. Not sure there's any anagrams of that. 8 minutes on my clock still. Eloina. Eloina. Fantastic. It plays. What would be better would be a double-double, so I'm going to carry on looking. And did I consider that earlier? Did I have a bingo earlier? Did I discount an earlier bingo on the basis of a 2 and 3 tile overlap? I don't think so. Air long doesn't work. So I mustn't forget Eloina. Relly, no. Doesn't work. Wow. Is there something here that looks so bingo-y? Just can't see it. It's not Lemina. Solima from an S. Let me keep going. I'm just looking to find one which works. So what about this rack? Not seeing anything. Rondelet through a D. Can't see anything as a 7. Can't see anything there. So is there really nothing? Let me approach this another way and think about what tiles might go in front of I, starting with the non-blank letters. So do I have a bingo beginning with L? Lemina not being good. Can't see one. So what about a bingo beginning with O? Not seeing one. Nothing else on my rack goes. So what about B? No. D. No. G. No. H. No. K. No. L considered. M. No. P. No. Q. No. S. No. T. No. That's it. Okay, so I have Eloina for 68. I don't draw the second blank, but that's not too surprising. I suspect that could well be on my opponent's rack, and the remaining tiles super bingo-y. However, I have got a couple of very good scoring tiles in the F and the K, both of which go after AR. So I could simply play KI or FE in that spot. Still 2 S's to come. Opponent could play in row K, get a big score, and open up several new bingo lanes. So it's not over yet. My lead just over 100 points. Now I could play Think in column 4, making Kia for over 40 points. That would be pretty good. Just looking to see if I've got a play which places a high scoring tile next to AR and hooks Jar. Well, I do. I have If. 37 points. Pretty good. It could be just what I need to survive a bingo. 11 tiles in the bag, so if opponent bingos now, there'll be 4 tiles left. Well, in that situation, if I played Think, I'd be emptying the bag, but the score may justify it. Fug is good and KI is good. Can't see a play which works in row K. Back-to-back bingos would be enough for my opponent, and certainly the remaining tiles are good enough for back-to-back bingos. There are bingo lanes on the board through the R of Mouthia, through LA and OM. And I guess in row K for a play ending SA something. Not a completely remote possibility. Now, what about a short play in row L? Possibly quite valuable. Now, opponent plays just the C. leaving 10 tiles left. That's good because I can play Think without emptying the bag. Cup's slightly strange because it doesn't really create anything. I guess opponent must be holding on to a 6-letter powerhouse. But I can get 44 points for Think, and this should enable me to outrun any bingo. I have Tindery. Nowhere for that. Kia takes nothing in front. Can't see anything through the A. But I have a 135 point lead. There are only 6 tiles in the bag, so opponent can't have back-to-back bingos. And that's another good thing in favour of playing off 4 tiles rather than 3. If I'd left 7 in the bag, opponent could have, theoretically, had back-to-back bingos. So I have an unplayable bingo on my rack. I also have a very balanced rack, and I have a scoring tile in the Y. Now, well, there isn't a spot for Tindery. Nice bingo by my opponent, 66 points. But he's still 70-odd points behind. I don't think Tindery has an anagram. So I can play DFI or Edify for 36 points, pretty good. Can I go out next turn with this? Well, I have rent through the E. So possibly not. 4 minutes on my clock. So that's 36 points. What do I have in column 15? So I'm looking to place my Y after the N. I think that annoys people. So what about tined? Let me just check this. It's fine. So tined for 45, that's a bigger score than DFI. I'm keeping IR, so I've got Riff next go. And I also have Aya, so I'm not going to be stuck. Can I do better than tined? Well, how much was this? That was 45. That's 2 fewer points. Can I get 2 more points with IRT? Don't think so. I think this is as good as it gets. Tined for 45. So what's the best I can do with IR? I don't think my opponent can go out in 1, but he may be able to. So 24 for my opponent. My Riff spotter's gone. I have Air for 3. I have Rib for 8. Rin for 6. Renai not good, I don't think. Jarrig not good. 2 minutes on my clock. Rin. No 2-letter plays on my rack. Rear for 9. So that's better than Rib. Mia is good, so I have Amir. Sorry, I don't have the A. Miri not playable. Okay, so the best I've seen is Rhea for 9. And the final score, 393 to my opponent, 500 to me, a winning margin of 107 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. I played Vex, and I think that looks best. Opponent's rack plays DI, and I thought for quite a while about this one and went with Jord in the end, and certainly the rack lead is better than anything else on offer. Opponent has Zarnex, nowhere for it, which is pretty fortunate. For me, plays Zar, and now I have Blarist, and that is the only bingo, so delighted to have spotted that. Opponent comes straight back with Acetones, note case also available, so just 2 points between us. Wow, Motti, quite nice, keeping FOU and Yuft. D12, Yuft, very nice, 42 points. So I do footy for 33. Is MUT 9 points better than FOU? It might not be better at all, although I think it is, but not 9 points better. So I play footy, and there's also strategic advantage in playing footy in that I'm taking out a super hot floater. Wow! Opponent has Unharbour. Where does that play? F5 through AR. Very tricky to see. Look at that, 2 U's on your rack, a B and an H. And there's a bingo there. Well done if you spotted that. I don't think I would have seen that. Plays Bush. So if my opponent had seen Unharbour, I would have had Misroute as a triple-triple. But that didn't happen. I do have Mouth here, and it is the only bingo. Opponent comes straight back with a bingo of his own, so he retakes the lead, but only by a small margin. Now I have Vamp, but I didn't play up there. I played it lower down for 34. I could have got 4 more points by playing it up here and leaving the U available for the Q, so that would have been a better play. Opponent's rack. Another bingo through AR, niggered, and I didn't know that word. I thought niggered was a noun, not a verb, but very tricky to see. Opponent plays dodging. Now I have cat at B6 for 34, and I like that. Horrible rack for my opponent. He's not close to a bingo at all. So when he played EE for a humble score, I thought he may be holding on to 5 good tiles, and he wasn't. He was just dealing with a vowel glut. And this is my rack. And I play wide at V10. I was slightly hesitant about it. It wasn't taking out bingo lanes, but it scored well. Opponent now does have the blank, but still swamped with vowels, but he sorts it out really well with Kwai, and I think it's the right thing to do. He is behind, and this sorts his rack out and creates a bingo lane. However, I have a bingo, but look at this, AR crops up again in a 9-letter bingo, Overlearn. Well done if you spotted that. And I played Eloina, but Real Tone was available at K8 through the A, so there was a massive overlap bingo, but that opens a triple-triple. So I actually prefer my play of Eloina, but over Real Tone, but I would have preferred Overlearn over either. And wow, nice rack for my opponent. Does he have a bingo? Yes, he does. Esoteric at C14, beginning with the E of acetones. And Microsome, never heard of that. G3 through OM. So an absolute feast of possible 9-letter plays in this game. And I think this was the move that opponent took a long time over. So it's possible he declined to play Esoteric. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. There are occasions towards the end of the game when it's better not to play a bingo, but I'm very weak on when those occasions are, and I very, very rarely do that. So, what does opponent do? He plays just cup. Okay, I don't really understand that play. Unless he simply didn't see the bingos and was keeping the best possible 6-letter set. So he was keeping EIORS blank, which must be worth in the region of 40 points, I would have thought. So opponent plays cup. I have Fink for 44. And now opponent has Essoina and plays it. And I have Tindery. I don't play it, but I do play Timed for 45. No out for my opponent. He plays a loft. And finally Rhea for 9 is best. So, a rip-roaring game. Always good to get 500 points. Always good to have a winning margin in excess of 100 points. But it was a super close game. Lots of bingos on the board. I think on 2 occasions I bingoed and my opponent bingoed straight back. So really close until just before the end, and my opponent had some tricky racks and I was able to get Eloina down and draw sufficient tiles after that to stay well ahead of my opponent. So all good fun. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.